Oh, it's time to talk about a pick five carryover at Woodbine Sunday. That early pick five is carried over at Woodbine, and there will be $55,000 plus added into that pool from the carryover from Saturday evening. So we're going to dive on in $59,000, almost 60,000. We're going to dive into the daily racing form past performances, take a quick look because we're just a few hours away from the start of that pick five sequence. Remember, you can get DRF past performances for free when you use the promo code STAKES and you sign up for a DRF Bets account. You can get these all access past performances free right off the bat. Deposit $200. They'll give you a $200 match deposit bonus, and they will give you 10 free all access past performances, and you'll be able to start handicapping right away. Following that, every time you bet 50, they will give you credit for another set of past performances. First leg of the pick five is race number 2. That's where this pick five sequence starts. And I think the 8 is a very interesting horse to include in here, because this is a horse, Victory March, who's coming in from Fort Erie and should be forwardly placed in here. He's in really nice form right now. And if you look at his synthetic races overall, you'll see, okay, he's not great on synthetic, but dive back into those races. The May 26th race was not bad at all. He was 4th that day. He was only beaten a length after a slow start. He was in contention throughout. And then on June the 16th, they tried to get a little bit more aggressive. It went a little bit too quick, I think, that day early, and I think you could put a line right through it. Now, switched barns, went over to Fort Erie and got really good, winning 3 straight races. I think you want to use Victory March in the mix in here. I'll throw in, along with the 2, Bachelor Pad, who's probably the one they'll all have to catch and beat. I think the 4, Race for Pinks, is very interesting in here for a horse that can come from off the pace, should have no concern with the 6.5, and has run pretty well in comparable levels and against some of these rivals. So the 4's in the mix for me too. I'm going to go 2, 4, 8 for sure. You want to go a little deeper. Both the 1, Neophyte, and the 3 make a whole lot of sense. Keen Flatter on the big drop. But 8, 2, 4, that's my top tier to kick off the pick 5 in race number 2. Moving along to race number 3 here. I thought the 1, This Dude's a Breeze, is one you have to use. This horse got hooked really, really wide going into the turn. Then to the outside, both the 6 and the 7 are in for me. War in Charge might be the horse they'll all have to catch in here. The 6, Dare to Be King. He was a step slow, but after that, he was down on the inside. He moved into traffic. He was traveling really well. He was only about 4 lengths off, and he got pushed back. He was always behind a wall of horses looking for room. He finally got a little bit of room late, and he showed some really nice, strong energy. I think Dare to Be King makes a lot of sense in here. I made him my top selection. 6, 7, 1. Then what do you do with the 3 dropping in class? The New Maybe. If you want to go a little deeper, this one should be in the mix as well. Moving along to race number 4 here. I thought this was a really difficult race in the sequence, and I'm going to have a single that comes in race number 5. This 4th race, though, I think you may need to use a few, because the 5, Trinity Park, adds the blinkers. This one's going to be in the mix for me, dropping in class, getting a softer spot today. Then I'm going to the 9, Classic Dancer, who's a major pace player here and just showed me that the level last time out for him was the right spot. We get to the 2, who's also a player in here. That's Walter Me Lad. I think the horse that will come running sits off a little bit and comes closing. I feel like the horse they'll have to hold off here. 5, 9, 2. Do you want to go a little bit deeper? How about the 8, Society's Thunder, who's coming in off of a couple of good races like at this level? This is a horse who fits and doesn't have to really improve a whole lot to beat this type of a group. And then back down to the inside with the 1, Fabled Prince, who sat a really soft trip in winning last time out, but maybe they're just figuring things out and on the improve. So 5, 9, 2. You want to go a little deeper, both the 8 and the 1. Moving to the 5th race, I'm going to single the 3, One More Brew. This horse has more speed than he was able to show last time out. He just was farther back than normal early on in that race. He was in the 3rd flight. He was down inside with nowhere to go. Once he shifted out late, he got going. I'm just going to expect a much more aggressive trip from him early. I think he'll be forwardly placed. I'm going to single the 3, One More Brew. If you were going to play otherwise and use a few others, I would throw in the 6, Salvador Mundi, who's coming out of some strong races. That 2-back race at the $5,000 level would fit really, really well in here. And then I'd also include the 8 Palio, who's coming out of some strong races and could really, really run better at this reduced level. So the 3 would be the single for me. Maybe you're going to set up your ticket a little bit differently. You want to use a couple others in here. It would be the 6 and the 8. To close it out in race number 6, I'm going to go 3 deep in here. If we can get to this leg of the pick 5, the 1 Quiet Intent comes off of a win last time out, cutting back to 7 furlongs. Feels like that's a trip that he likes because it just gives him a little bit more punch, where he's kind of flattening out when he's going a little longer there early. So Quiet Intent is in the mix for me. And then I'll use the very formful Artie and Hilarious Affair. I like Hilarious Affair most in this race, just in fantastic form right now, and wants to sit a few lengths off and then launch the rally. You have the 5 Artie, who is capable of throwing up some massive speed figures here. So those would be the 3 for me to try to close out that early pick 5 with a carryover, just about 60,000 in the carryover. Only a couple weeks of racing remain at Woodbine. We'll be here talking about those races each and every day, providing you with some best bets, some analysis, and hoping to help head you into the winner circle with some nice prices. Good luck at Woodbine. Make sure to head to DRF Bets, sign up, and you can get these past performances for free. We'll be back with a lot more racing coming up this week. Good luck.